Hi everyone, it's your favorite Atomic Blonde here with a little pop chat special. So, those of you that are familiar with my channel, I'd like to think, I give things a fair go. I'm fairly open-minded, and balanced. I'm fair. I like to think that I'm fair, and there's quite a few things that I say I like, and like I say, I was a big fan of. I really enjoyed Fallout. A lot of people didn't like it, and that's cool. You can like it, you can not like things, and I don't see it as a personal attack on my character if someone turns around and says, "I don't like Fallout." I'm like, well, we just like different things, or we were looking for different things from the show. So this special is the Acolyte. Oof. I have nothing. I literally have nothing. I mean, wow. As I've said on here many times, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. It's ingrained in my childhood, Princess Leia, or Leia, depending on what side of the pond you're on. It was just absolute idol, like growing up, this amazing woman who ran the rebellion, and she was a princess, and there's just like nothing she couldn't do, and just an amazing bit of storytelling, and just moved the film world on in leaps and bounds. You could tell a story like that as George would say, it's not science fiction, it just happens to be set in space. And I agree with that. But you could tell something in that genre, in that world, and it could be popular, it could be accessible to everybody. And, I think this is kind of what grates on me the most, is this kind of mantra that somehow Star Wars was never accessible before, and women weren't wanted in the fandom, and all this kind of nonsense. Really, like I say, I've been a fan since I saw it when I was like 3 years old. And me and my brother had these, remember, this is the 70s, right? So you could buy a lightsaber, but it was basically an inflatable yellow tube that we just beat the crap out of each other. And probably within a day, we managed to puncture the inflatable part of it, and ended up with just all plasters and things stuck all over it so we could carry on playing. And we were very lucky, we had, I think, all the toys from the first film, the Millennium Falcon, the X-Wing fighter, the little action figures. And as we went through, we got the action figures from Empire Strikes Back. We got the figures we didn't actually get that much many to Return of the Jedi. I think it's because maybe we're getting to a certain age. I don't know, but I think we had less money, to be fair, because my dad wasn't around anymore. But that's probably more likely. But Star Wars was completely our refuge. And I know I've told this story before, so but we had quite a difficult childhood, me and my brother, and the cinema was like where every weekend. It was dirt cheap back in the 80s. I think it was like £2.50 for the pair of us or something, and we just go weekend after weekend after weekend to go see what was on. And but when these films came out, especially Return of the Jedi, we just went every weekend for as long that it was on in the theaters. It was our little refuge that we could just lose ourselves in a better place, in a better world. And and Star Wars means so much to so many people in different ways, and depending on how old you are now. So when I was a kid, Return of the Jedi was my favorite. I absolutely loved it, but I was absolutely the age that it was aimed at. I was like 8 years old, the Ewoks, all of that. As I've got older, and rewatched the trilogy many times, yes, Empire Strikes Back is the best film of the trilogy. It is, of course it is. But I'll always have this love and affection for Return of the Jedi that this wide-eyed 8-year-old had watching this film, following these group of characters that I loved all my life. And when the films came out on Blu-ray, you got them on Blu-ray, and now they're on 4K and all these kind of things, and you just still buy them time and time again. And now we arrive at the Acolyte. So it's bad. It's badly written. A lot of it's badly acted. The pacing's awful. It's boring. It's predictable. It's obvious. How this thing cost 180 million, I don't know. The characters are just stupid. So we start with our strong, powerful, stunning and brave protagonist on a planet. Did I write down, what was that? Ueda? Don't care. And it's like there's nothing there, right? There's like, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and then there's this kind of like city in the middle of it with a great big building, like really obvious like bar thing, right? So she basically offers some money to this sort of, I don't know, creature thing that's kind of a mix between a Jawa and the spy creature in Tatooine, with the long trunk thing that sort of talks into stick to give up where the Falcon is, but it's like a midget thing. I don't know. I just don't care. So, oh look, aliens! We've got aliens. And ask them where the Jedi are. Well, my guess would be in that bloody big building behind you, because that's like the only thing that's there. Anyway, it seems sort of vaguely points towards the town. Nothing more specific than that. But of course, she goes there, and then she goes into a bar. Now, for me, I would have probably gone into the city and gone to the bar and then asked, do you know where the Jedi hang out? That's probably the most obvious thing to do. There's not a lot there. But this is how it starts. So you just know already we're on levels of stupidity. Yeah, so then we've got Trinity, who's a Jedi Master. Jedi Master, sitting there with some more aliens, and this girl goes over and she's so I was just checking right because I had to write stuff down because I was just laughing too much. She just kind of just like, attack me with all of your strength, and everybody laughs at her, and then she's like, attack me with all of your strength and hatred, or blah 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 blah. Everything a Jedi wouldn't do, right? Jedis aren't meant to be, it's meant to be like defense, like karate's always a defensive thing. It's never used for attack, and obviously they're all calm and under control, and they're not using their anger. But anyway, it just reminds me of the dude out of The Princess Bride, I am Montoya, you killed my father, prepared to die, and just keep saying it over and over again. This is that girl. She does this more than once in the first 2 episodes, right? She just goes up to people and goes, attack me with all of your strength and hatred. We haven't finished business, or whatever it is she says, right? It's absolutely hilarious because she's like 5'0", going up against these Jedi knights and masters and stuff. And it just goes, again, it's completely counter to what the Jedi are. They were never going to attack you with all their strength and fear and rage, and because they don't have it, right? It's all under control. Anywho, so these aliens all start laughing at her. Then she like beats up the aliens. Then her and Trinity have a Matrix type Morpheus and Neo fight, like judo, karate, kung fu, whatever, because nobody seems to use lightsabers here. Suddenly it's all martial arts, whatever. And then so Trinity takes out her lightsaber. She's like, basically like, if you're going to draw your lightsaber, you better be prepared to kill me or kill someone or something. So Trinity then stupidly like puts down her lightsaber, This girl's obviously already like, you know, date fighter. So the girl lobs one of her knives at the barman, who for some reason didn't get out of the way when everybody else left. Convenient. So all the time they've been fighting. So then Trinity literally, like, given she's a Jedi Master, okay, so she kind of turns away from the strong protagonist woman and stops the knife from hitting the barman, which I guess, you know, a Jedi would do, but they protect the innocent, which then allows her just to stab her in the chest with this little knife. I mean, to be fair, the little knife doesn't even look like it should go through the clothes that she's wearing, but somehow this manages to kill her. Like this kind of little, it's nice about this big, right? It's like something you'd peel an apple with, manages to kill a Jedi when a lightsaber doesn't kill people in Star Wars anymore. I don't know. It all seems a bit stupid. So anyway, the girl goes to kill the barman, but he's got some kid with it because, again, not only did he not leave, he didn't take his kid out of harm's way. Whatever. And then off she goes or whatever. What happened then? Oh, and the fighting and the wire work was awful, by the way. It's so obvious. There's like, you know, yeah, bad. And this was like the best, like everybody was like raving, like, oh, this is an amazing action scene at the start of episode 1. And I'm like sitting there going, was that it? Where's this amazing action scene? A really badly choreographed, performed very slowly bit of martial arts on really bad wire work. Wow. This is going to be great. Then we cut to what appears to be the same girl. Dun, dun, dun. But she's on a ship miles away. She's a mechanic or something. And there's a problem on the outside of the ship. She goes outside the ship. Osha, who knows? Osha, maybe. Acting bad. Deciding, action. She's outside fixing something, and it's on fire in space. Yeah, things kind of like explode, but then obviously, as we all know, because we're intelligent people, there's no oxygen in space. But this fire burns and burns and burns, and she has some kind of trauma flashback thing. I don't know. And then snaps out of it and goes back in the ship. I'm struggling to remember, to be honest. I watched this a couple of days ago, and and then the Jedi turn up, a Jedi Knight and his Padawan turn up to arrest her, even though she's nowhere near where the woman was killed, or Trinity was killed, and there's all these witnesses that say, yeah, she's on the ship, but they're going to arrest her anyway, even though it's like no proof other than the barman says it's her or something. So anyway, they arrest her. So bearing in mind this strong woman has supposedly killed a Jedi Master, who, you know, in case you don't know, that's like, it's like, you know, as high as you can get, like ranking wise, you know, Master Yoda kind of, you know, completely proficient in the Force. As I said, they sent a Jedi Knight and a Padawan. So if this girl is like capable of killing a Jedi Master, you know, you might want to send someone like, I don't know, another Jedi Master or some more backup. But anyway, they stick her then on a prison ship. They don't even bother taking her in themselves, even though she's supposed to be absolutely deadly, and just leave her on the ship with a robot guard. And there's within 5 seconds, there's a mutiny by the other prisoners. They escape in escape pod. They just leave her on the ship. And then, amazingly, this ship crashes into the planet, and somehow she manages to survive. And from what we see, she's not even got a cut or a bruise or an injury or a broken arm. Amazing. I mean, nice feat if you can do it. Then back on Coruscant, we find out that the guy from Squid Game was her Padawan. No, he was her master, she was his Padawan. That's it, that's how it works. And then we discovered that somehow the Force now enables you that you can be like a mind reader. Who knew? Who knew? You know, I mean, yeah, you could kind of judge if someone was lying or not, but now you can actually read minds. Amazing. Yet another new power that conveniently the Force can do. Yeah, so basically they picked up the prisoners who mutinied in the escape pod. Find out that she was on the ship and it crashed, and she tried to help one of them, but he betrayed her and buggered off in the last pod. So there's Squid Game dude and obnoxious Padawan, strong girl woman Padawan 2. Yeah, because they only seem to have female Padawans, who, shocker, decide to go get her or go check out the crash site. Obviously they get there and she's not dead, and then she's a complete knob and standing on the cliff edge just going, I didn't do it, and he's like, stay where you are. So she keeps walking backwards and then obviously falls off the cliff because she's an idiot. Power of the Force catches her, brings her in. She's like, I didn't do it, and he's like, oh, I believe you, just like that. I believe you, fine. What else? Is that the end of episode 1? Can't remember. But yeah, she's kind of been having dreams about her sister. So, you know, long and short of it is, oh, what a surprise! They're twins, and each one thinks the other one's dead. Couldn't be more obvious. And then, but they look exactly the same. They have exactly the same haircut, even though they both think they're dead and they've not seen each other in, I don't know, 20 years or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, when he sort of catches her, I mean, bear in mind that she used to be a Padawan, he sort of catches her and brings her up and does various things with the Force. She's sort of standing there all like kind of gobsmacked with her mouth open going, oh my God, like she's never seen the Force before. It's very strange. I don't know. And then episode 2, can't find my notes. I don't really care. Episode 2 was just more yeah, they kind of worked out that the other twins are alive. She's out to kill the Jedi Masters or the Jedi that were on her and her sister's home planet 16 years ago or something. And take revenge for whatever they did. We don't know what they did yet. I'm sure we'll find out at some point. In various flashback episodes. Okay, go. Episode 2. Yeah, so evil, strong woman protagonist twin goes to another planet, rocks up at some Jedi temple, gets again flashing her money around, gets some kid to throw something at the droid guard. There's like a thing on the wall that opens up and the kid's like distracting it. Then she throws a thing on it and it goes back in the wall that enables a door to open. I mean, if all you had to do was put the thing on the front, she could have just walked up and stuck it on the front, couldn't she? I don't know. Makes no sense. Anyway, so she goes in, she tracks down another Jedi Master who we see is just like meditating, cross-legged, levitating in a room. He's got a scar down his face. He looks about 12. And he's been like this for 10 years, apparently. He's not spoken to anybody. He just meditates. So then we get her like trying to kill him with her knives, and she's getting all like huffy and puffy and, oh, I am going to kill you. I am. attack me with your all your strength malarkey again, even though he's like meditating, not talked to anybody in 10 years. So yeah, of course he's going to do that. And she keeps like going at him and sort of like effectively like bumping off like a force field bubble thing that he's generating around him, and he's like the antithesis of all cool and meditating and zen. And that's a bit I kind of like. They kind of just sort of reflect a bit like the dark side of the force. So she's getting more and more angry and frustrated, and the more angry she gets, the more she bounces off, and he's just sitting there all zen. So I thought that was probably the only thing that kind of resembled anything kind of Star Wars related at all. But anyway, so then she goes off in a huff. Goes to this dude who she then asks him to make her some poison. Massive sort of dump of like exposition about her master and how she has to kill one of them without killing them or without using a weapon or something. So anyway, see by which point the Jedi say have clocked that this is going on, and they head to the planet. Go to the Jedi temple. They're all standing outside having a chat, even though they know that she's there to kill him. And they're like, oh, we need to go in and talk to Master Tobin or whatever his name was. And again, he doesn't talk to anybody. And then Squid Game guy's like, oh, he'll talk to me, blah, blah, blah. And they just sort of amble in really like there's no urgency or anything. Meanwhile, so she's already broken in once trying to kill this dude. They've done absolutely nothing about the security. They haven't got more guards. They haven't got anybody watching him. There's like a skylight above him, how she got in and out last time. I haven't thought to like maybe, I don't know, close the skylight so you couldn't get in and out. So she just gets straight back in, goes to the room. Then she just turns around and says something about, oh, aren't you carrying a lot of guilt? Oh, don't you want my forgiveness? Oh, do you feel bad? And then all of a sudden he just like comes down, opens his eyes and goes, yeah, I think we got it wrong or something like that. She hands him the poison and goes, here you go. Basically, if you can have my forgiveness. So he does. You're like, wow, okay. Whatever he did, was it that bad? That like meditating for 10 years and not talking to anybody couldn't sort it out. So anyway, he just like, they're just going, hey, I forgive you. Blah. He just, self-deletes. Meanwhile, they're all just ambling into the temple because even though there's an assassin on the loose, we don't want to get there too soon, right? And we have to drag out the episode. The good Stratton Whammon twin, sees a vision of her younger as her twin, but when they were younger, so decides to follow it. So she manages to get to the room where the guy's just offed himself before the others do, and finds him on the floor dead. The others then all burst in, and she's like, it's not what it looks like. It wasn't me. I didn't do anything, governor. And they're all like, oh, I don't know, it all looks a bit dodgy to me. And then the Jedi Knight that took her into custody, but basically the div from the trailers who said Anakin blew up the Death Star. Yeah, him. Sort of springs out and like, hey, I've been following her the whole time, and I've had my gun on her, and she didn't kill him, and he was already dead when he came into the room. So yeah, she's telling the truth. And it was all like, oh, okay. So and then they basically other evil twin Strang Whammon left the poison bottle behind, so it's all really obvious that he got poisoned, and they were able to pick up that he got poisoned by some poison that was only that you can get on their home planet from when they were kids or something. Then they go after they managed to Squid Game guy manages to catch up with her outside, and they have a fight. And he just keeps asking her like, who trained you? Who trained you? While they're fighting. Then he uses these Jedi mind powers or something and saying, oh, you don't know who trained you, so even if you could, you can't tell us. Then we get the Jedi space police swoop in with their sort of their ship helicopter thing with spotlights saying, "Oh, you're under arrest by the name of the Republic." I don't know when the Jedi became police or police enforcers. You know, they were guardians of the, well, I say guardians of the Republic. They were guardians of the Republic, right? They were there as, you know, to do peace treaties and be like politicians and, you know, look after influential people and stuff. Suddenly now they're space police. So needless to say, she doesn't want to go, and then she just like chucks some dust in their face or something, and then she manages to escape. Meanwhile, her sister had run off somewhere, I don't know. Caesar, yeah, so the evil one jumps into like a speeder thing. The other sister ran off, but then Caesar in the speeder, they both see each other, they both go, "Oh, you're alive." And then the good one fires the gun really badly, completely missing her sister by a country mile. So then she drives off, she fires at her again. Then the Jedi kind of regroup, and now somewhere, and when she when the evil one was talking to the dude who was making the poison, she found out where one of the other Jedi Masters was, and so basically at the end of that, she goes off to get him, and we find out that a Wookiee's a Jedi Master, and some people turn up, and he gets angry, and Force gets their gun and snaps it in half and growls at them. And that's kind of the end. Yeah. It's bad. The Squid Game guy's good. I mean, he's only recently learned English like in the last year, and he's out acting most of the people on the screen. It's like, wow. But we keep having these kind of kung fu martial art fights rather than any kind of lightsaber battles, because I mean, I don't know why they're shying away from it, because a lightsaber doesn't kill you anymore. I mean, all she needs is a little dagger, right? That's all you need to kill someone in the world of Star Wars. So they can have as many lightsaber battles as they like. They ain't going to kill anybody, according to the new Star Wars world. Yeah, so it feels a little bit like it was just like a little bit of a retread of I don't know, Order 66, that she's just going around wiping out all the Jedi Masters and stuff, and so I guess we're going to find out how she was wrong. So, but the Jedi turned up to her village. I think they this is the first time I think they hint at that they came from mothers, and they're like, oh, whatever. And they killed the people that the girls came from, or something like that. I'm sure we're going to find out in the next couple of episodes. Don't really care. Yeah, but the good one, you know, she was a Padawan. She walked away from the Jedi. She has not been able to use any Force powers, but I'm sure that'll change. And by the end of it, she's going to be the strongest, whamminest, bestest ever Jedi ever in the whole entire world by the time we get to the last episode. Obviously. And yeah. So that was the Acolyte. So nonsensical nonsense, full of stupid people making stupid decisions, at a boring pace. That's all I can really say. I'd say so soon as you've watched it, you've kind of forgotten what's happened. The names don't stick in your head of any of the characters, and you just know it can only get worse from here. Sorry to report. I mean, you know, I didn't have a lot of optimism, if any, but I'm always happy to be pleasantly surprised. You know, I'll always go into it with you know, I just want good Star Wars back, or something that resembles Star Wars and is good. I don't, you know, and not unsurprisingly, I think as of recording today, which is the 7th, I think it's sitting on. Let me have a check. Let's have a check what Rotten Tomatoes is saying. I think it was at 29% or something. Let's have a little look, see, shall we, peeps? So I just need some like lift music. Okay, what's it saying? What's it saying? I have to watch the Acolyte, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see if they've taken it down or if they've frozen it. 27% the audience score is now. This is a 92% critic score. Oh man. So yeah, the usual tropes are coming out. It's being review bombed. There's a certain percentage of the fan base that don't like this because it's it's starring women, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Star Wars has always had women in it. It's always had people of color in it. It's also had diversity through aliens, as George was talking about the other week. It's meant to be everybody's on an equal footing. People aren't persecuted because of skin color or sexuality and things like that. And he's always been very he always wanted to sort of keep that kind of real world, or certainly, as he said, sex out of it, in terms of so it's very accessible to children and families and things like that. And it's everything that Disney, Star Wars, or Disney wants to put in every single product. It's all about sexuality. It's all about color. It's all about highlighting how we're all different, rather than trying to promote like a common cause, or how we're all actually if we all actually work together, how things can be better. Yeah. So 27%. So how much longer before that gets frozen? People aren't allowed to put any more comments on there. And yeah, they're saying it's being review bombed, that there's a load of new accounts and people aren't saying, they're really like short plot synopsis. And I'm like, well, there's no bloody plot, that's why there's not much to say. There's 2 episodes and it's basically you got a twin, one's aligned with the Sith. I forgot to say, yeah, so I think at the end of episode 2, or maybe, or episode, I don't even know, don't care. There's a bit where you've got the evil strang woman protagonist walking across this beach with the world's worst monologue that makes no sense whatsoever. It's literally rings of power writing. Why does a rock float and a boat sink, or whatever rock sink, boat floats? It was like they are neither steel nor blade, and you can kill them without this or that, and you're just like, what are you on about, you absolute nut job? And so she's sort of walking across the beach, and then in the distance there's a figure standing there, and I think it's very in the distance with baggy clothes, and they just open a lightsaber which is red. It's a Sith, no shit. And this is obviously her master, the person that's training her. But you can see, because it's from a distance in really baggy clothes, so you can't really determine the height or the build of the character. It's so obvious it's a woman. So obvious. And the only way they will subvert my expectations is this does not turn out to be a woman or a trans woman, but somebody who is saying they are a woman, right? It's so obvious that they are going to be a woman, just from the fact that the distance they're away, how they've got all this baggy stuff on, so you can't see their build or their shape. So yeah, it's absolutely nonsensical. It's just so predictable. It's just really, really not worth anybody's time. So, and I'm sure everybody's heard from Chris Gore over at Film Threat and Alan Ing. Go check out their channel, fantastic channel. The episode 3 is the one that's going to send us all over the edge. This is the one where they kind of write Star Wars, and we're all going to get the Force is female, or Anakin came from, I don't know, or Anakin shouldn't even have been born because he's a boy, or some sort of nonsense, right? They're going to completely rewrite what the Force is, how it works, how Anakin came along, how the Skywalker family stuff. So I will watch episode 3 next week to get the lowdown on that and understand exactly how they've completely damaged Star Wars irreparably and lose the last of the fans that they have. I mean, even the shillest of the shills don't like this. I mean, you don't get to 29% if people that like it are actually watching it, right? So we shall see. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if they won't let you put reviews up once episode 3 drops. If it's on 29%, excuse me, if it's on 29% right now, I can see them like shutting it all down, same as I had with Doctor Who, that you can't even put a comment on this. So hey ho. So that's it. I am now gonna go watch Star Wars. I'm gonna go palate cleanse, watch something good, wholesome, entertaining, fun, and just erase that brain eater, brain cell killer from my mind. So yes, I will destroy a few more brain cells next week and watch episode 3, if I have to 4. But I can't promise you I can go past that point. If you need me to, I will. It's just bad. How hard is it just to write a good story? Anywho, on that note, will there be a Sunday lunch? Might be a Sunday lunch. We'll see. I'm still desperately trying to go see The Fall Guy. It is now on video on demand, but interesting. It's cheaper for me to go to the cinema than it is to rent it on demand. So we'll see. There might be a Sunday lunch. Not sure yet. If there's a few things to chat about, if more rubbish and nonsense and stuff keeps coming about the Acolyte, I'll certainly be on to talk about that. Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, I'll leave it up to you. Always make up your own mind. Never be led by anybody. And if you enjoy it, good for you. I don't begrudge you 1 inch if you enjoy it. It's just not for me. I'll stick to me OG. So have a good time. Have a great Friday night. If you're watching on Friday night or whenever you're watching it, stay safe, have fun, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.